What's up, y'all? Shuffle, and today's video is about Tainted Grail Conquest. This is a deck builder roguelite, and honestly, I have to say I really enjoy this game. So this is gonna be a first impressions review. Yeah, I've played for like almost 20 hours at this point, and we'll give you some tips and explain how the game works too, just in case you're curious. But yeah, so this is not a sponsored video. No one's paying me to make this. I bought this game a while ago, but I hadn't tried it really until recently. So there we go. As far as the game goes, it is a deck building roguelite game. These are pretty popular lately. There's a bunch of unlocks and arts and stuff like that that you get, which is really cool. But when you play the game itself, you get 3 files. So I'll show you what the startup looks like and stuff. There's modes. I've not tried these yet, but you know, I've just been playing Conquest. You get to pick classes. So you make your character, there's a bunch of classes. You have to unlock all of them over time. I've got most of them, but I've only played a couple. So I guess we'll try, let's try Sentinel, why not? You get to pick stuff with some of the other ones. Like if you go back to, for instance, like Summoner, you get to pick your starting summon, basically. So they all have different customization options, which is cool. And there's a scaling ascension type system. Everything gets harder as you go on. So this game has a lot of replayability if you haven't picked up on that already, which I really enjoy. And when you start up here, you always land in a village. This is your village, and you're slowly building the village back up. So you have a hub, and you get to do stuff in the hub. I'm not gonna, give you all the story about it. I'll let you figure that out for yourself, but controls are pretty simple. It's not like other card games where, I don't know, you just click and move up to like the next node and stuff like that. You actually have to move around. You can click to move, use the camera to do this and stuff. So it kind of has this like ARPG vibe. But you can also move with your keyboard too. And your statue, you can summon a true boss and stuff like that. So there's some really cool stuff. And there are permanent progression upgrades, so you find these NPCs as you play. They all take their own currency, and explains how to get them and stuff. And the more of it you get, you can unlock extra things. I don't have all of them yet, so I don't know what they all do. But the early ones are pretty straightforward. You get like a dude that can help you heal, and you get the blacksmith. Obviously, you get ghost shop. You get seamstress, candle maker. And all of these, like I said, take their own currency. Like, for instance, Seamstress, you need to kill enemies. And the whole game is voice acted, by the way, which is really nice. But yeah, so you get to unlock stuff, permanent upgrades, blood, get by killing enemies. This just repeats over and over with different NPCs. And that is a really cool thing. So for the stuff that I do enjoy about the game, I like the aesthetics. This kind of gives me a Path of Exile vibe. I don't know if it gives you that too, but it kind of feels that way. Just a little bit different on the camera angle. The gameplay itself is really fun. Building the decks and getting the extra stuff, because you can equip runestones to your character and unlock these. These give you passive power-ups. You can combine them to get them stronger and stuff. There are quests that you get to do. NPCs give you quests and stuff like that. For items, you have ones you start with. You can change some stuff that you have, and everyone's got different stuff like ultimate abilities and mechanics. So for instance, like I've not played Sentinel yet, so we have attacks which look like they're called arrows. We have quivers, which are kind of the utility cards from what it looks like, and the maneuvers are I guess special things. Like when you play the first class, the starter class, the Weird Hunter, its mechanics are really just, its ultimate's like a big damage hit that you combo into. So it's like a damage combo deck. And you can do it a few different ways. You can like lower the enemy's armor repeatedly and do a bunch of damage that way. You can do a bunch of small hits that sometimes can be aimed, sometimes can't. You can do like really big hits that take most of your energy and stuff. So there's a lot of flexibility in each class, which is really fun. And there are a lot of them. As you can see, I think there were 9. So you start with 1 and then you unlock the other 8. The runs themselves are pretty short. So we're gonna use tab here to look at the map. There are 3 levels essentially. So when you're in each run, I should say. So each door of your village here takes you to a different area. So you clear out the first one, another one opens, you go clear out that one, then a third one opens, and then after you beat the third one, you can fight a boss. Or I should say final boss. You're fighting bosses in each area as well. The bosses are also randomized when you go out here. So just to show you, you walk out here. There's a torch meter too for you Darkest Dungeon players out there, if you're kind of aware of that. So right now we're at basically 0 burn level. You can torch up here. There's penalties for keeping it low. But yeah. And this was something I was actually going to talk about later on. I was going to kind of criticize the game for not having enough variation in the landscape, but actually this is the first time I've seen this. So that kind of takes away one of the complaints I was going to have. So it does look like there's some nice variation in the landscape at least, so looks prettier I should say. And then my final thing that I do enjoy is that the game has a lot of replayability. So just to recap, like the aesthetics, gameplay, there are a lot of classes, which is fun. They all have their own mechanics and decks. The runs are pretty short. You can clear one probably in like an hour, maybe less once you get it down. And I really appreciate that. And then the game has a lot of replayability. And I was going to say before, the things I dislike were the runs not having enough variation in terms of, you know, some of these fantastic aesthetics, but it looks like that is not the case. And then the final complaint I would have about the game is that it is pretty grindy. So some of you may like that, some may not. But like in town, when I was showing you the blacksmith, from what people were telling me, is the hardest one to unlock everything on, because combining runestones can take a while. They're not super common, and you have to basically make sets of them and combine those, and that's how you get the currency. So some stuff does take a while. Might not be your cup of tea. So I have not played Sentinel, but you can see here too, you start with, you get your HP, you got starting gold, and weird stones. You exchange these for other upgrades. You can look at your journal and stuff for the upgrades we talked about, or the stuff you've unlocked. So when you want to fight something, you just walk into it, and the monsters look really cool. I think they're just really creepy and awesome, and some of them are upgraded versions of the weaker ones, which is fine because they have new attacks and mechanics. What I also like about the game, I forgot to write in my notes here, is that it gives you a ton of information. I love it. Like, it explains all of the keywords. It shows you everything the enemies can do. When you mouse over them, it tells you how they work mechanically, so you don't have to just sit there and figure it out. Some of you may enjoy figuring out everything yourselves, but honestly, I have played too many RPG style games where a lot of the difficulty isn't in so much the game itself, like how it plays, it's in the fact that you don't know what's happening and the game doesn't tell you. So I really do appreciate this game giving you as much information as it does. I think it's fantastic. It's brilliant. So I'm gonna move my camera real quick. You can see your passives up here in the top corner. So you get more of these as you level and stuff, so it's really fun in that regard. And Echo's mowing at me. But yeah, so otherwise, like I said, everyone gets their own ultimate, their own mechanics. You get 3 energy a turn, so stuff you're probably familiar with. Some items you get between runs, like the wood flute, and you can change what the flute does. You start with potions. So there's a lot that you have within your control here. And so this thing, we're hitting for 6. What's our ult do? Deal 0 hits for 1 to 3, or 0 hits for 1 to 3 to random enemies. Each ultimate charge is 1 hit, so you can just do a bunch of pings and small hits that probably get pretty big. We'll see. Play any arrow card or spirit card to charge it. So you can use your ult once a turn and do it that way. So draw the shadow shot card ability. Sure. Oh, Cena shows you what this does. So deal 1 damage, reduce target's armor by 10 until end of combat. So let's just start with that. And I'm assuming lowering its armor is going to help us. Oh, that was cool. See, we shot another thing. Oh, okay, it gets stronger as we hit it. I thought it got like more hits or something, but yeah. So we can get some extra armor and stuff here. So maneuvers have, we see the keyword here. The card that has many states. It flips to another state after being played. Okay, let's see what that does. It flips and it went away. Where'd it go? Come back. Game barrier equal to 150% of your armor. So I guess when it, oh, did it do that when I played it? Let's say, or did it cycle back? Yeah. All right. This guy's gonna hit us kind of hard. Let's just ping him a bunch. And leaves the feint again. Since we have a bunch of, you know, we'll play this. We'll play it next turn. We'll play it next turn. So stuff you're familiar with, blocking. You can block straight up hits, like you get an actual block charge, so if it does 1,000 damage, you block it. You get armor, so if you do get hit, you can reduce the damage you take, and then you get barrier, which is like temporary HP. Goes away after it takes a bunch of damage or at the end of the fight. And then you also get these weird cards. So these do different things depending on your burn level. So if your burn level is high, like ours is right now, most of the effects are usually good. So if you play it, you get a beneficial effect. In this case, as you can see, reduce damage of all enemies by 100% this turn. If not played, next turn, reduce the cost of 2 random cards by 2. This is an interesting thing with the weird cards because every class gets them. They're not class specific. It's like a pool of cards that do different things. And how good or bad they are depend on your burn level. It's actually pretty difficult, especially early, to keep enough candles to keep your torch up. And so what ends up happening is you're kind of put in these positions where you have to run at low burn level, which means you're kind of gambling with these, and there's a lot to consider with them. So sometimes they take 0, they take 1, or they take 2 energy is the highest I've seen. And they can do some wild effects. Like I've seen some of them do stuff like, you know, lower your armor by 100% for a turn or 2 turns or something if you don't play it. And that can lead to a lot of damage. So there's just so much to think about on each turn, you know, besides just hitting the enemy and doing damage. And I really, really do like it a lot. So let's try this. Draw 2 arrows. How many arrows? I got 1 arrow in my bag. Is it just going to draw that one? What's release to? Multi-shot random enemies for plus 25% damage. All right, let's see what this... Okay, we used the shadow shot before. Smoke shot. Did it generate this? Because I didn't have one in my deck. So I don't think this was in my starter deck. Stun an enemy and increase its armor by 25% for 2 turns. I am not looking to stun it right now. So we're going to try... We're going to pop it with these regular shots here. And we'll use this. Oh my god, it did a ton of damage. And it became Arrow Storm. And then you level, I forgot about that. So each run you can level up to 20. And here's all the currency and stuff you've unlocked. And yeah, you pick cards when you level. They're all interesting. And just like any other deck building game, you have to really choose if you want the cards or not. Because sometimes they're really good, but you can bloat your deck to a point where it's not consistent and you get a lot of bad draws or just draws that don't work, or you might find a passive that doesn't work as well with your old cards. So you really always have to be thinking about what you're doing. I really enjoy that about the game. So look at this. Okay, you get 4 charges. Is that per battle? I'm not sure how that works. You know, I'm sorry to not know everything perfectly, but like I said, each class has its own mechanics and stuff like that. Like quest cards, you know, become strong cards, and some cards, like legendary cards, you can only use them like twice a run and stuff. So there's really a lot to be looking at. And I was gonna say there has to be a way. So I right-clicked right there, and so you're allowed to go look and see what all of these maneuvers do. That's pretty awesome. Let's just get some armor. Increase your health by 40. Start of combat, gain 3 damage until the end of combat. Every turn, draw 1 additional arrow. That could be very good. And then here's our rune. Take it, and then we can put it in. So they do different stuff depending on if they're in weapons or armor. Each card play this turn, increase your damage by 5 if we put it in our weapon, or just get 10 armor. Since we have a lot of zero cost stuff and we can draw more cards, maybe that's good. I don't know. But yeah, you can skip fights if you really want to. Like, I'm kind of trapped in here, but as you see, I hit tab here for the map. I could walk around through here if I wanted to, and it shows you like NPCs on the map, your quests and stuff if they're relevant. The boss is up here. Like I said, the boss changes, and the rings around enemies really tell you what types of enemies they are. Like regular, just red rings are usually just normal enemies. Like blue rings can be bosses, like I think they're called legendary encounters, and then there's orange for treasure and stuff. So let's see. There's that smoke shot. Maybe I've had that the whole time. Gain 25% damage for 3 turns. Okay, what's... Oh, look at that. Look at this interface, dude. Turn gain 100% damage, lose armor for more turns. Alright. You get a bunch of damage. Try and kill this guy first. So they intend to buff. They spawn illusions of random enemies. Transfer armor or HP from one to another. Okay. We could stun this guy, since it's free. See? And then just shoot this one to death. I should have played this first, actually. Sequencing is a huge deal. When I was first originally playing, the sequencing of my cards and stuff is what I was having the most trouble with. So playing them in the right order to make sure I get, you know, the most value is actually very difficult. So is this flipped over from the last run? I think so, right? Because didn't we play this last run? Or last fight? And I don't see release in my deck. Interesting. Alright, so is there any way to get... Yeah, these are the ones that flipped over. Okay, that's cool. That is cool. Oh, that's right. You start with certain cards, too. Like, you may get Phantom's Aid every single turn with this class. I could definitely see that. I forgot, the Weird Hunter starts with a card that doubles their damage. Like, every turn they have that in their hand for their next attack, if they want to use it. You don't always have to use it, but it keeps appearing. So let's see, we're gonna lower this one's armor. We're gonna spread the wealth here. Although it healed, oh, it healed for 50 because of our thing. So if we play this now, reduces all enemies' armor by 25 till end of combat. Sure, why not? Draw 2 arrows. I have a shot, and then I don't know what's left. It's probably gonna draw that smoke shot or whatever. But we're not gonna play that. We're gonna play Arrow Storm. I'm just, you know, let's play that first. Let's see how the damage goes. Okay. 5 to 9. Wait, it took my other shot. No, my shot's gone. Maybe, does it play everything in, is that how it works? Does it play everything in your hand? I don't know. We're gonna save this for one more turn, I think. We're gonna take a little bit of damage here. And we're gonna play Phantom Aid. The Shadow Shot again. Okay, I see it. Multi-shot. Use all arrows and spirit arrow cards in hand. Modify their damage by the shown percentage if empty. If empty, they deal 100% damage. Man. You can play all your stuff that way. Now we're gonna play this. Oh my goodness. Well, spirit archers, dude. Alright. Let's see. We could keep going, but I don't want to drag out this video, so... This game is an absolute blast. Got an NPC I could talk to. And there should be a boss. Here's the boss. I don't think I fought this one. Yeah, I haven't. So I don't know what this boss does. But there you go. So that is the game. If you are a fan of roguelites and deck builders, I think you will greatly enjoy this one. It's about, I want to say 20 bucks, usually. Might be able to snipe it on sale and stuff, but definitely a fun game that I think needs more attention. So, trying to get some more eyes on something fun. But that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I stream this game sometimes. If you want to see more of it, let me know. But that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time.